So I've managed to remember to start filming before we start. Well, when I say before we start, we've actually started to take the staff bead off. So this is the first window. Now in order to work on it, we've still got to get it out, and down the bottom there you can see how badly rotten that is. So we need So having taken the staff bead off all round, we now got to get the upstand out because that's actually trapping everything. Yeah, this is all rotten, and we can possibly save it, but I doubt it very much. All of this down here is rotten. That will need to be cut out. Yeah, that is. So we've run up the frame on with a fine blade and identify where the nails are. The red marks identify that. Now what we're going to do is cut them off again with a fine, but with a different blade. Is that yes, it had been a sash window, because there is the sash weight to prove it. Now, because of where we are and because of fire, what we're going to do is, because this is such a lovely opening, we're going to keep it as a casement window so that people can get out in a hurry. So we're going to replicate this monstrosity here, which is well and truly had it, but we'll do that back at the workshop. Every job truly is different. It had been originally a sash window. There you can see the original, one of the original pulleys. On this side, you can actually see the outline of the pulley there. Now, in order to get the sill out, in order to get the sill out, which is this part of this bit here, some of it has rotted away, but this part we had to cut down there all the way through, and down there all the way through, and then the window ledge is generally rebaited in. So there's a tongue on here, and there'll be a tongue here, and there'll be the groove underneath here. So what we did is we cut down all the way along so that everything stays in place. So the window ledge now actually acts as a datum line, as Mark in Cheltenham would say. He loves his datum lines. Yeah. Now, in order to get the sill out, we cut all of those points, and then what we did is we lifted. This is the sill. Yeah. And we get there. This is the sill. It's had its day. Yeah. So this can go to the great sill makers in the sky. Yeah. So we're going to replicate that, but that gives us all the measurements we need to make everything else. In the original style, and it's going to look fantastic. That's what it looked like beforehand. It was literally two sashes screwed together and held in place, more or less, by those mending bars that you see down there. Yeah, that's the only thing that was holding the window together. And now, we've got a complete new. So this is a lovely construction. You can see there that the mending plates were the only thing holding it together, Well, they probably screwed it together as well. But there you can see the two sashes have been joined. So they were separate sashes and they were joined at the meeting rails. Oh, such fun. Anyway, that was done years ago. It was a fixed sash, and it's just rotted away. It's actually a door. So that's what it will look like from the inside. And I know it fits because that's actually a template of the opening. Oh, the whole window was crap. It will look $1 million, up to the standard of what it should be, what the whole building should be. Right, so this is still work in progress. The glass has got to go in, and that'll be going in this afternoon. But that's the new, well, it's virtually a complete rebuild. The outer casing is all still there. As you can see, it all lines up. It's all nice and tight. And if Steve will now open it, and that means he can get out with consummate ease, just in case there's a fire, or you know, he just wants to enjoy the sunshine. Yeah, can you close it again, please? Yeah. Yeah, and that's it. Okay. So Barry the glazier has pulled out all the stops. He's done the glass for us, so that's it now in. And now you can see it in its full glory. All I'll do tomorrow is I'll be fitting a lock on it, so that it can be locked from the inside only. Absolutely beautiful. And I'm talking about the So, just for the fun of it, I took it apart. Now you can clearly see the two sashes. There's them. Oh, ingenious. Well, it had lasted, but my God. There was one screw there, so it wasn't just the mending plates that were held. And a mending plate on the end. Yep, there's another mending plate there. So they must have had a, you know, I mean, it's skillful in its own way. I wouldn't have done it, but, and I do some crazy things, but I wouldn't have done this. But hey, it worked for a while. In fact, for quite a while. There it is in all its glory. And tomorrow it will be in the skip. Actually, it's quite sad. I'm sure the V&A would have liked this as a work of art. So now, this now goes to the great sash window in the sky. We'll probably save the glass, get a couple of pieces out of that anyway on smaller windows. It's not antique glass, but it can come in handy. Waste not, want not.